Welcome back to SharePoint Charts Complete Training. In this session, we're going to look at the pyramid chart and funnel chart. This is the same concept. We've got a triangle-shaped chart, and this chart is used to show a progression where you have a increasingly smaller or larger number set that is going through different stages. A common example of this would be a sales process. You have lots of customer leads, and then you make phone calls, and then some of those go on and have a sales meeting with you, and then you send a proposal. And so at each stage, there's less and less. And then, at the end of that process would be converted sales. So that's the concept, or an example concept, of where you could use this type of chart. Obviously, lots of other situations can apply. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So you want to go ahead and get your SharePoint Charts Complete training page open. And the first thing that you want to do is go ahead and download your Excel workbook. You need just one workbook for this training session. And that's where we're going to begin. Okay, so let me get my workbook open. All right, there it is. If you see a warning, just say enable editing. And then in your workbook, you want to make sure you tap on the table design and then export table to SharePoint list. Then you're going to paste in the name of the SharePoint site where you're doing this charting training. Okay, so I'm just going to paste that like so. And I like to name my list according to the name of the workbook. So this is customer levels, and just click next, and just confirms the field types. Click finish, and it's moving it over, and click OK. All right, you're done with the workbook. You won't need that for the rest of the training. And what we need to do is go to Site Contents and find the list that was just created. All right, now when we create the list from Excel, it likes to lock it into this grid mode. We want to turn that off. So click on the gear icon, then go to your list settings, advanced settings, and we need to scroll all the way down, turn off quick property editing. That's the grid mode we want to get rid of, and also select new experience on the last setting. Now this type of chart, we need to actually get a total also, which will be a calculated field. So we've got 7 numeric columns here, and we need to go ahead and total those up. So just for reference, I'm going to duplicate this tab and go back to the gear icon, list settings, and we need to create a calculated field. And this is just the sum of these columns. So that will be called total. You do need this total column in your list for any kind of pyramid or funnel chart that you're going to create. So we're doing this for our test data, but you'll need this for these particular chart types no matter what. Okay, whoops, I picked the wrong thing. We're going to do calculated. It will return back a number, and it can be a whole number, so I'll select 0 decimal places, and then we can just select our field. So I've got the other tab open, so it's annual contract plus monthly contract plus services, then services proposal, okay, and then sales meeting, set up sales call, and leads. So sales meeting, set up sales call, and leads is the last one. And that's it. Very simple calculated field. All that does is just get us the grand total of these 7 numeric fields. And that's all that we need. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and create my views for the two types of charts I'm going to create. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'll do save view as, and I'll call this funnel chart. Save. And we'll make one more view for our pyramid chart. There we go. Okay, so I want to get a nice link up here, not this view ID with a bunch of random characters. So the way you can do that is just edit the current view and just click OK. And then we get a nice URL at the top. And I like to have links to those over on my home page. So I'll go ahead and add to my quick links now. Okay, so there's going to be a link to my funnel chart, and I want to make the label look nice and pick an icon for that. So I'm going to search under charting. There's the funnel chart icon. All right, that looks good. And let's move that over to the end. And then the other one was the pyramid chart. It was the same URL, it's just that instead of the word funnel, I have pyramid. There we go. And I need to get my label to look nice. And then I can go to my icon. And this time I'm going to search for triangle. And I can just pick one of these. Do that one. Okay. And then I'm going to make that go to the end as well. So just drag that over. There we go. Publish. All right, now I've got handy links to my charts. Let's start with the funnel chart. Okay, so I'm all set up and ready to go. In your training, you should go ahead and just click over to the templates from the links provided. So there's my funnel chart template. I was already working on that, so I already had some stuff filled in. Just like the other templates, what you should do is check out the themes first. That just gives you ideas on different looks that you could do. So there's 10 of those. I'll let you check those out for yourself. I'm going to stick with the first theme template. And then what I need to do is go ahead and select from the field count. I need to count the number of number fields, not the total field, just the original number fields. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and so I need to set that for SB field count. The SharePoint field count is 7, and now I need to give it the names of those fields. So it was annual contract, then monthly contract. Make sure you're careful when you're putting these in. They do need to match precisely. Services, then services proposal. Then we have sales meeting, setup, sales call, and leads. All right, I don't want it to say my chart title. I want it to say customer levels. All right, let's see if we have a working template. Copy that, and then I'm going to go to Format Current View, Advanced Mode, and select all and paste and save. Boom, there's our chart. We've got our initial funnel chart. Now we can look at some configuration options. So naturally, as you might expect, I can pick from different colors for each of these different levels and make some other adjustments as well. So let's see what's available to us. So one option is, do you want to draw the spout? So that just puts a little spout down on the end of this. I could turn that off if for some reason you like it better that way. and then you can adjust color. So one thing I'm thinking about is the fact of, what is the sales point? So in our numbers, we actually have a converted sale once they get to services. So really the last three are different than the first four. So I might want a different color scheme for those. So we could say maybe those are all red related. So I might like to change that. So maybe that's going to be pink. Maybe that'll make a little bit more sense to us. So I made a couple of adjustments. Now I can copy my template, and we can make little tweaks according to the look that we want. Okay, so we know at the bottom these are all kind of similar colors. Those are actual sales for us, and this is not dollars. In this case, it's the amount of customers. So I'm not going to use a prefix, but if you were doing something with money, of course you could do that, or you could append in a percentage if you want to. Maybe I want to make it a little bit taller, and I can just adjust the pyramid height, see what it looks like at 500, and then let's go ahead and do what? Change the background color. So I can go to the canvas background color, scroll up, instead of gray, let's do like a light blue. Let's see what that looks like. All right. Now with this chart, you can see that the width is also going to change because it draws it at a set angle. Now one thing you should understand about this data is that the value for each of those, that's the total area here. So that would help you understand why, even though there's 215 in this small area of the pyramid, why its height is how it is compared to the leads. It's the total area of that section of the chart, and that's why it's a progression of numbers. So that's our funnel chart. Again, sales is an example of something that may correlate to. So now we can go on to the pyramid chart, which is really just an inverted version of that. So let's go ahead and switch over. Go to pyramid chart. And then I've got the pyramid chart template set up here. I'll just refresh my page. Just like the other one, we want to start by getting our field configuration right. So we have 7 number fields that we're working with. I'm going to do some copy and paste from my other configuration screen just to make things a little easier for me instead of having to retype those. Monthly contract. Services and services proposal. Then sales meeting and set up sales call. Then leads. Okay, we don't want my chart title. Let's go ahead and fix that. Customer levels. Let's change the canvas background color. That was up at the top. Let's pick a different color this time. There we go. All right, let's copy that over. Hopefully we've got a working template for our pyramid chart. Format current view. Advanced mode, select all, and paste. There we go. All right, so you can see in the labels on the side, it tells us the name of the field. We've got a little line that shows next to that, and then it shows us the total count for that part of the pyramid. And then you can just walk up and look at the numbers at each level. So that's pretty much it. These are, of course, very closely related types of charts. It's really up to you as far as whether you prefer to show your numbers as a pyramid or as a funnel. The key aspect to this type of chart is that it lends itself especially to a situation where you have a progression which is going depending on how you're looking at it, from a large number set down to smaller and smaller number sets for each of your fields. So you can look online, you can find other examples if you're curious how other people use these type of charts, but you've got plenty of options with your colors, lines, and other settings in the configuration to get this to look however you want. All right, so we're all wrapped up. All right, I hope you found that interesting. So this is something that's maybe going to be a little bit more visually interesting. It tells more of a story than, say, just kind of a plain vanilla pie chart or bar chart or something like that. And that's really an important aspect of charting. You are going to get people's attention by showing them something a little more interesting, something more unique, rather than just the go-to charts that we tend to see all the time. So always try to think about the story you're trying to tell in terms of your visuals, and consider your data and see which chart types it can match up with, because rather than just going with the obvious, there may be something a little bit more interesting like the charts we're doing here. So I hope you found that useful, and I hope you can use that with your own charting for your organization, and we'll see you in the next session.